So, Wolf, what would you say would be the one thing you would want to see Damwon fix? Like the most important thing that they have to fix if they are going to win MSI? Do they have a glaring weakness that you think other teams could exploit?
I think there's two small ones that like I feel like are pretty combined and almost like opposites of each other, and they're both in the laning phase. One is something that Dagda mentioned earlier about Ghost in the laning phase. He makes a lot of small mistakes, doesn't always ward very correctly, so sometimes he gets picked and he dies early in certain games where he isn't able to be as powerful and hit those big spikes as quickly as other bottom laners. You know, for example, compared to like Ruler in the LCK because he makes some small mistakes like that. And then I think on the opposite end of things, I feel like Showmaker is often too passive, and Canyon has opportunities to gank for him, but he's playing a very passive lane state. He's playing too safe. He's just trying not to die because that's generally Damwon's playstyle, kind of in a nutshell. Recently, I feel like Showmaker has the opportunity to be more aggressive more often, especially when Canyon is playing more aggressive junglers. Like if Canyon's on Udyr, for example, Showmaker doesn't actually make those aggressive plays, try to make those gank timings happen, where you do see the Udyr flash and get a stun and Showmaker follows through. You don't see those kind of plays very often from Showmaker, it feels like, in recent times. And I think that's just kind of it's not utilizing Showmaker's skill potential as highly as he could be, because the game plan for Damwon, I don't know if this is a product of Coma or not, but it feels like the game plan for Damwon is don't lose, win the team fight later, doesn't matter. You could go for a kill in mid, Showmaker could be aggressive, we could trade more aggressively, but we don't need to take that risk because we're going to win no matter what in the late game. And it's a very boring style, but it works, and it has been working for them. They didn't drop a single game in playoffs. So, those are the two small things I think could fix, especially the Showmaker thing, though, doesn't feel absolutely necessary, but I feel like it could be exploited.
Well, one of the things that always happens at these international events too is that if their style's been working in Korea and other Korean teams are opting into that style, then that style just gets reinforced, right? Whereas now they've had some time to practice amongst all these other teams, including teams that are going to be much more aggressive in terms of their tendencies. And so we may see a very different style of Damwon as everyone's style kind of acclimates to the international competition, right?
Yeah. I think there's certainly a chance that they do change their style a little bit based on what we see in scrims. But I also think that because of how this tournament format is set up, let me open their group to make sure I don't get this wrong. But they have, Mad Lions and RNG as their pool, right? And then you go into their group, and it's Cloud9, Detonation, and Infinity. So the group stage, like, they can mislead people. They can do things that are more that other teams are doing, that other teams are. Everyone's saying, okay, this is happening in scrims, is really common. They can kind of mislead people and play a standard there, then change it up when they go into like the Rumble stage. There's a lot of different things they can do because this group is pretty easy. And the top three teams I mentioned, right, like the Mad Lions and RNG, with them, they're all kind of split in these groups where they will just kind of like dunk on these other teams and mess around, I think. That's just the nature of the beast for a format like this. So I don't know when we're going to really get the first taste of what Damwon actually thinks is good. Like, I don't know how long that's going to take because, I think they're not going to show too much in the group stage. They could literally just play the same boring style they played in LCK playoffs and still win, probably.